Sichuan, China, August 29th, 2025. Floods spiraled out of control as 13 major rivers in China overflowed, submerging villages. Dozens of hydropower dams simultaneously released water, making the situation even more devastating. On the night of August 28th to the morning of August 29th, millions of people from Sichuan to Liaoning lived through a real nightmare. The sound of raindrops hammering on rooftops mixed with the howling wind as if announcing an approaching disaster. Locals described this storm as a once-in-20-years fury, powerful enough to turn bustling streets into rivers, where boats could now sail through what used to be busy roads. Reports from the Ministry of Water Resources delivered shocking figures. Within just 24 hours, 13 rivers across Yunnan, Sichuan, Gansu, Liaoning, and Jilin all exceeded warning levels. Many had burst their banks, threatening hundreds of villages. These were no longer calm waterways, but raging monsters tearing apart everything in their path. The Shili River, a tributary of the Lancang in Yunnan. The Baima and Nan rivers, tributaries of the Min River in Sichuan. The Deha River of the Upper Yellow River. The Bailong River in Gansu. The Chai River in Liaoning, and even smaller ones such as the Narhang and Juzi rivers in Jilin all swelled together, creating a chain of disasters nearly impossible to control. Water levels in some areas rose more than 2 meters above danger thresholds. The violent current swept away soil, trees, and even vehicles abandoned on the streets. On the morning of August 29th, China's Ministry of Water Resources held an emergency meeting and issued flood warnings for 14 provinces, from Sichuan, Shanxi, Jiangsu, Anhui, all the way to Hainan and Tibet. Reservoirs and flood control dams were placed under red alert. A single crack, a single mistake, could drown vast regions under a sea of water. Officials described this as a war against floods. Each province was assigned specific responsibilities. If a levee broke, the provincial leader would be dismissed immediately. The pressure was immense. Everyone knew that one broken link could bring down the entire defense system. In Sichuan, the Min River, the lifeline of the region, officially recorded its first major flood of 2025. At 7 a.m. on August 29th, water levels at Banshan Station reached 420 meters, but within hours surged to 424 meters, 4 meters above the warning line. The giant river roared and churned as if ready to swallow everything. Residents along its banks watched the water rise every hour, their palms drenched in cold sweat. One flood had not even passed, and another was already threatening. Just one more heavy rainfall, and all defenses could collapse under unstoppable waves. In Chengdu, the provincial capital of Sichuan, the scene was even more terrifying. A downpour, described by experts as a 20-year event, left cyclists wading in water up to their waists. Streets became canals. Water invaded neighborhoods, dragging garbage, furniture, and sheer human panic. The Wen River rose so high that boats could move freely within the city itself, a surreal sight that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who witnessed it. In Liaoning, torrential rains hammered Yinzhou, Tieling, and Kaiyuan. Roads turned into lakes, overwhelming urban drainage systems. Motorbikes and cars were abandoned midstream, while residents struggled to wade home. The city deployed 280 personnel and 128 emergency drainage machines, erecting temporary levees right on the streets. 18 key roads were sealed off, and streetlights cut to prevent electrocution. Giant pumps roared through the night, spewing torrents of water out of manholes like humanity's desperate battle against nature. One journalist captured haunting images: drainage workers, clothes-soaked, mud caked to their arms and legs, still prying open heavy manhole covers, clearing garbage, and plunging into filthy floodwaters. They waded chest deep, carrying pumps on their shoulders, racing against time. In a low-lying residential district in Yinzhou, backflowing floodwater submerged hundreds of homes. Police and firefighters rushed in under orders, plunging straight into danger. Forming a human wall in the raging current, they stood shoulder to shoulder, passing heavy sandbags hand to hand, building an emergency barricade. Under flickering flashlight beams, sandbags were hauled, stacked, and turned into a defensive wall within just hours. Rescue kayaks, usually used for saving people, were now pressed into service transporting sandbags. The scene resembled a disaster movie in which every participant was a hero. After nearly 2 hours of exhausting labor, hundreds of sandbags stood piled high, successfully blocking the backflow. But instead of withdrawing, rescuers continued patrolling through the night, checking each household, warning residents to stay alert, and preparing to rush to any site at risk of flooding again. Locals, moved to tears, realized that in the face of nature's fury, survival depended only on people standing together.